Tupac Shakur. A lot of people called him a devil. A lot of people said Tupac wasn't no good. That everything he did was bad. Everything came out his mouth was bad. He shouldn't have been living long as he did live. But you know what? Tupac was one of my favorite rappers and still is. Along with Biggie, known as Christopher Wallace, Big Papa. Tupac, when you listen to Tupac, Tupac was real deep. Though he might have used a lot of foul language, but Tupac always had something positive to say. Tupac had a great heart. Tupac reached out to people. See, when you go back and do the history on Tupac and his childhood, how he grew up struggling in the hard times, no father, oh man, go on and on. But Tupac had a lot of good stuff in him. He was positive in many ways. And the rap game is missing a legend like Tupac. Now, I'm not here to debate nothing about Tupac went to hell or heaven, none of that. I'm just saying, bad as people say Tupac was, you better listen hard in his lyrics. Tupac knew who God was, and he always recognized God. Tupac even made a song called Only God Can Judge Me, which he made a lot of folks mad with that, but it was the straight up truth because only God can judge him. He lived that street life. He had the gangster mentality, but look at what Tupac grew up around. Now, I'm not making no excuses for Tupac. I'm not here to defend Tupac. But I look at the environment he grew up around. You know, even his mother got involved in with the Black Panther parties. Tupac only knew nothing but violence. But he used to write poetry and he started rapping and he took his gift. And when he flipped it around, oh man, he became one of the most dynamic rappers that ever touched the microphone. A lot of people hated on Tupac. But you can look at the millions and millions and billions who love Tupac. And now I know people gonna get mad at this video because a lot of people gonna say, well, Tupac influenced a lot of the youngsters and they wanna live the thug life, they think it's all about this and that. But man, when you look at the outcome on Tupac, Tupac really wasn't all that flashy. Tupac didn't have a whole lot of stuff like people doing now because he was down to earth. I ain't gonna tell nobody, when you ever look up his house and really how many he caused, you would say, man, out of all the money Tupac made, it's all he did because Tupac wasn't stuck on money. Tupac had something to prove. He had a whole lot to prove. He was troubled as a child. And sometimes when you grow up around negative stuff is all you know, but still there is no excuse. I love Tupac music. You remember when he came out with the song, Dear Mama? Dear Mama, he reached mothers. How many rappers right now can make a song and reach their mother? Because it's too much being about shooting up folks and killing folks. How many women we can get? Tupac could write a song about anything. I love when he did the song Changes. Man, he always recognized God. And his poor mother, bless her heart. Even his sister, see his other one of his sisters, I can't remember if he got one or two, but the baby daddy of the sister got locked up, I believe, for like 60 years. So you can imagine what all this stuff was doing to Tupac as Tupac was being moved around. He felt like he didn't have no friends growing up because he was always moved around. But when he spoke, he had great knowledge. I love him. Miss him dearly. Some say he dead, some say he alive. I don't know. I know I miss him and I miss his, I can't say I miss his music because it's like he keep coming out with stuff. Man, but Tupac had a vision. When you look at it in so many ways, Tupac wanted to see people get along. All this stuff now about this East Coast versus West Coast, who's the greatest, that ever lived, all this beefing amongst people. See, it's funny how the media and the press and politics, everything done just messed up a lot of stuff in this world. But I miss him. His music gonna forever live on in my house. Man, Tupac say, reminiscing on the stress in our cause, cause it was hell. Hugging on my mama from a jail cell. Man, you can't even get lyrics like that no more, Harley, man. Who would think in elementary that, hey, I'm gonna see the penitentiary one day. Running from the police, that's right. Man, mama catch me, put a whooping to my backside. Tupac said, dear mama, you are appreciated. And you got folks right now that can't even stand their own mama. Look, sometimes we can just look at the message and what the rappers are saying. Everybody ain't corrupt and bad. Just like I say about the preachers. All preachers are not bad and corrupt. Some are, some not. Tupac was a dynamic man. See, I can look past what everybody else look past that's always got negative things to say. See, can you look at a man's heart? See, I'm not caught on the music. I listen at lyrics. I look at actions. And we know Tupac went through a whole lot. Being shot, you would be like, man, he ain't learned his lesson. Well, hey, sometimes you become what you are. And Tupac never made no mistakes. I mean, he never made no, what's the word I'm looking for? He never apologized for what he was. Let me say it like that. Because he made plenty of mistakes, but just like we do. We all make mistakes. There's a lot of Tupacs walking around right now. It's a whole lot of them. I got a cousin, identical like Tupac. He been gone since 1996, and I miss him so much. His name is Jerome Hardy, and we called him Hammerhead. And he was a hard-headed brother. Always loved getting in trouble all his life. And he been gone since 1996. He wanted to be Tupac. He looked like Tupac. Acted just like Tupac. Can't tell you how much mess he got into, how many people he done got into it with. He done been shot. He done been stabbed, you name it. It's a lot of Tupacs walking around here, but that don't mean they can't change. Even Tupac knew who God was and recognized God. When you look at the whole thing on Biggie and Tupac, they pretty much was out doing the same thing. They was great friends at first. Their mission was to do the same thing. When you look at Christopher Wallace, better known as Big Papa, Notorious Big, he came up rough. All they knew was selling dope. That's all they knew, and struggling. And people wonder why people are always selling dope in the dope game when that's all they know growing up. And like I say, I'm not making up no excuses because it's always a better way. But sometimes people will never see the better way because everybody around them was doing bad. Just like the way I grew up. I saw nothing but dope. Nothing but dope, prostitute, you name it, gang banging. We grew up around the same stuff, crack. We grew up in the hood. People getting jumped, shot, stabbed, murdered. We grew up around that. I used to hate it, but I thank God where I'm from. And I'm still in the same spot. Right now, as I speak, Tupac wasn't all that bad to me. See, we can always look at the media. See, it's so easy to see people and look at them as they terrible when they are out in front of TV all the time. They always on the internet all the time. But if we can get a camera in our lives, yeah. I like to say it like this, a lot of people living under a hidden camera. But God got the camera that see everything. See, one thing about Tupac, he was out open with everything. Even when they called raped on Tupac, that girl said he raped her. When he did his time in the pen, you know, people change. I'm not here to judge no one. I'm not a judge and never will be. I'm just concerned about how I'm going to be judged and trying to get in myself. That he did say, you will be judged. If you judge, you will be judged at the same measure. So that's already enough for me to just, I can soak that in my mind. God says when he come back, Christ in his second return, he coming back as a great judge. Christian folks need to be the one really worried about a lot of things too, because they too busy talking about people in the world. See, I love people in the world. I love everybody. I don't care what you are, who you are, what color you are. I love you. And if I can say anything to help anybody, I do it, because everybody can change. I believe if Tupac probably would have had a father around, he might have did things a little different. Or he could have probably did it the same way. See, that's the problem. There's not enough men around no more. There's too many of our brothers locked up in the penitentiary. There's too many of them dead already. There's too many of them on their way to the penitentiary. Some of them dying in the penitentiary. That's why I love to see the children, man, moving forward. And I love, it's just something about me with kids, man. I be wanting to take them and just, hey, you ain't got to go down that path. There is always a better option. You only run out of options when you stop looking for an option. It's always a better way. You ain't got to go on the block and sell dope. Tupac was a great mentor because even like what T.I. doing now, T.I. went before he got locked up the last time, but T.I. was going around speaking. And then people got mad at T.I. when he failed again, you know. He had to go do some more time, but he was going around being a motivated speaker for the young children. You know, when Tupac spoke, people would listen. See, if some of the celebrities would get a little bit more involved, and I know it's hard for them to do because of their schedules, and when you're a celebrity, you don't have time to hardly do nothing, but I believe if a lot of them could get more involved in a little more positive stuff, and I'm not talking bad about none of them, I love them, then I believe more children will follow the right way, because children pretty much praise these celebrities, these rappers, these R&B singers. They do. They know all their music. They know when it's coming out. That's what I say in the homes now, man. A child will memorize a whole song before they would even think about remembering one verse in the Bible. But that's how it is nowadays, because the world is drawing more and more people in the world that's so-called calling themselves saved and delivered. That's why I say the church look worse than the world now. Tupac. See, if I had a church, I would have loved Tupac to just come in my church. Who preaching today? Tupac preaching today. He's bringing the word today. Hear him out. Feel him. Feel his heart. Feel what he's going through. Who preaching next week? Notorious Big gonna preach. Who coming in next week? Life Jennings. See, this is what I wish the church could be doing. Well, you can't put nobody in my church, dog. Now, you better look at what Jesus did with the sinners. He walked and talked and fellowship with the sinners. He didn't care what their problem was, who they were, what their crime was. He wanted them to be saved too. See, it's not enough people reaching out for the rappers, for the gangsters. And they are getting the children. Why? Because the church ain't getting them. And I'm going to leave on that note. God bless you.